May I proceed?
I can see him, okay?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
I need you to get face down on the ground, okay?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. 207. We got one with a chest wound. The other male that shot him is on scene here. Hey, just keep your hands where I can see them, okay?
Yes, sir. Is this okay, sir?
Yes.
Officer Aiken, I want to take you to 233307 in this video. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Officer Aiken, I just handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 7. Do you have that in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Does State's Exhibit 7 match the screenshot of the body-worn camera?
Yes, it
And
does.
It has the same timestamp, 233307.
Yes, it does.
And does it fairly and accurately depict the scene as it appeared on that night?
Yes, it did.
And I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 7.
Any objection, Ms. Wisowski?
I have no objection.
7 is admitted, may be published to the jury.
In this timestamp, 233307, Does that accurately kind of represent the time that you arrived on scene?
Yes, it does.
And what did you observe when you got out of your car?
I observed a male, obviously, laying on the ground, and another male was urine.
I'm going to go ahead to 23:33:11.
Did you take?
You may.
And Officer Aiken, I've handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 8. That, I guess, what is that?
It's the still frame from my Bodycam.
And does that fairly and accurately represent the scene as it appeared on that night?
Yes, it does.
And it has that same timestamp, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 8.
Ms. Bosofsky,
I have no objection.
State's 8 is admitted into the record as Exhibit 8.
I'm going to go ahead to the last portion. I'm going to go ahead to 23:34:32. May I approach?
You may.
Officer Aiken, I just handed you what's been marked as State's Exhibit. Sorry, is it 9 on there?
Yes, it is.
Is that a photograph or a still frame of that moment from the video 23:34:32?
Yes, it is.
And does that accurately depict the frame we're looking at there?
It does.
And I'd ask to admit State's Exhibit 9, Your Honor.
Ms. Bosofsky,
No objection.
9 is admitted.
Now, Officer Aiken, I just want to ask about this really briefly. When you were arriving on scene, did you ever make any, or do you have any recollection of making any observations of a pocket knife?
No, I do not.
And guess, is it fair to say that it was the first time you saw it was in reviewing your body-worn camera footage?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Where was your attention when responding to the scene?
My attention was on Campbell, so.
So walk us through, at this point, what did you do?
I'm sorry, one second. Okay. Try to do what I could. Yes.
What does that mean?
So we were trying to do life-saving measures on Campbell. Trying to put pressure on the wounds and try and do what we could to save him. So,
Who was there with you at that point?
there's a few people there. Myself, Officer Turnquist, and there was a Montana Highway trooper there.
More law enforcement arrived on scene?
Yeah.
Who else arrived on scene?
At the time, I'm gonna be honest, I do not know. So, obviously, I was pretty focused on Campbell. So, those are the only two people that night that I remember getting on scene. So, but I know there was a lot of different agencies there.
So when you two were trying to perform life-saving measures, who was doing most of those efforts?
Usually who's ever there. So obviously I was the first one there. So I was trying to assess the scene, make the scene safe, and then
All right. It looks like the officer getting a bit emotional talking about coming upon that scene with someone shot on the ground. I want to remind you folks, we do have our eye as well on that courtroom in Washington in the attempted honor killing trial of Ihsan and Zara Ali. The jury has continued to deliberate there. They're at 13 hours and 30 minutes or so, just a little bit more than that. If anything happens out there, we will take you out there as well. Coming up next, however, here on Court TV, more testimony in the return mail murder trial. And that continues when we return. Keep it here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight, on Closing Arguments, our verdict watch continues as two parents stand accused of trying to kill their teenage daughter. We're live with the very latest from today's deliberations.
Closing Arguments, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Donna Adelson is facing charges of murder, the death of her former son-in-law.
Now that Donna has turned into a defendant, what's next for the Adelson clan?
The matriarch mastermind murder trial. Live coverage this August on Court TV.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go back inside that Montana courtroom for more testimony of Officer Aiken.
Conduct any additional investigation in this case?
No, I did not.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowen. Ms. Grosowski.
Yeah, thank you. My fault, everyone.
Good morning, Officer Aiken, and let me know if you need a moment.
Oh, I should be okay.
So on April 19th, 2024, you responded to a report of a man saying he was attacked by another man, correct?
Yes.
And Jordan Palmer was the name of the man who said that he was attacked by another man.
Yes.
Now, I want to talk to you about what happened once you arrived on the scene. When you arrived, Jordan was still on the scene, right?
Yes, he was.
He hadn't run away.
No, he didn't.
He hadn't tried to hide from law enforcement.
No, he didn't.
And there was nobody who was making him stay on the scene, right?
No. As far as we knew, so.
When you got there, there was no one else on the scene other than Mr. Palmer and Mr. Campbell.
Yes, that's correct.
And Jordan was right there next to Mr. Campbell, right?
Yes, he was.
He was standing with his hands up.
When I first arrived on scene,
Yes.
I believe that was after I got out of the car and approached him. He did have his hands up.
And you wrote a police report in this case, right?
I did, yes.
And when you write a police report, you try to be as accurate and thorough as possible.
Yes, we tried to. So,
And the reason for that is that you can't remember everything, right?
yes,
So you often rely on police reports to refresh your memory.
yes, yeah.
And you also have the video, but sometimes that details may be blurry in that.
Yeah, sometimes. So,
Isn't it true that in your police report in this case, you said, and I quote, "Upon arrival, I found two individuals present. One of them was lying unconscious on the ground while the other stood above him with his hands raised."
yes,
And Mr. Palmer's gun was not in his hand, right?
no, it wasn't.
I think we saw earlier one of the state's exhibits, his gun was a couple feet away on the ground, right?
Yes, it was.
And all he had ever had in his hand was a cell phone, right?
Yes.
Now I want to talk about where Mr. Campbell was. Mr. Campbell was found lying on his back on the ground, right?
Yes, he was.
And if somebody gets shot in the back, do they normally end up falling back and lying on their back?
Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to say lack of foundation and speculation.
I would sustain that, Ms. Brasovsky, if you want to rephrase.
I can move on, Your Honor. When you're performing CPR on someone, is the first step of that to place them on their back?
Yes, it is.
So when you found Mr. Campbell, he was in the position that he would be placed in to begin the CPR process, right?
Yes, he was.
And at that point in time, it was only Jordan Palmer who was on the scene.
Yes.
So the way that Mr. Campbell was laying on the ground would fit with Jordan Palmer beginning the process of performing CPR on him.
Yeah, possibly.
And isn't it true that Jordan also told you that dispatch had been telling him how to perform CPR?
Yes, from what he was telling me.
And Mr. Campbell's body was located pretty close to a mailbox, right?
Yes, it was.
And I want to bring out a demonstrative map that I brought to court today and see if you can look at that and see if that fits your memory of the scene. And Officer Aiken, I believe you testified on direct today that you're pretty familiar with this Mantle Drive area.
Yes.
And you're familiar with 808 Mantle Drive because that's where you responded to this incident.
Yes.
Are you able to see the map that has been placed next to you?
Yes.
And I know there's probably some details missing, but does that look roughly like the 808 Mantle Drive area?
Oh. Yes, it does.
And does that look roughly to scale?
Yeah. Like in what aspect, I guess?
Does it look like, for example, that if you compare the size of a tree to the sidewalk to the car, everything's kind of proportional the right way?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And does this look like a Google Earth aerial view of that area?
Yes, it does.
It's just a little more zoomed in than the ones Mr. Bowen showed you.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes, officer?
Yes, it was.
Thank you.
Now, Officer Aiken, do you have a marker or a pen on you?
No, I do not.
Your Honor, if I may approach to give the witness a marker or pen.
You may.
Or if I can actually, if you just want to use your pointer there.
Okay.
Can you point me to the location?
All right, folks, we're going to bring in our guest in a second. I do want to show you, though, that we've stopped our verdict clock in the Washington versus Ali and Ali case because the jury has gone home for the day in that attempted honor killing trial of Ihsan and Zara Ali. Deliberations are going to resume tomorrow. They deliberated now over 2 days, 13 hours and 42 minutes. It's a tough case, and it's showing in the deliberations. Of course, we'll keep you updated on that case as soon as a verdict is reached or any other questions from the jury. Let me bring in my guest now here to discuss playing out in Montana is National Trial Attorney Michael Jaffer. Michael, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me here on the program. I want to get your initial thoughts on this case. It's a self-defense case. We saw, or the jury saw, some body cam video, very cooperative defendant. He's already beginning to defend himself. He defends himself a little bit on the phone when he calls 911, talks about the guy tried to attack him, had to shoot him, telling the cop, look, he tried to attack me, shoot him. But he's very compliant, doesn't seem to leave, and the defense attorney on cross makes a point of that. What do you make of the case so far?
Two universes in this case. The universe where he did it and he's lying about it. The universe where he did it, but he's telling the truth about defending himself. We don't know which universe we live in, but either this guy is a arch charlatan who knows how to lie and emote properly and put on this facade, or he's not, or he's telling the truth, right? That's why the jury's going to have, they're going to have to ferret out this situation and figure out which one of these two universes we live in. But so far, him cooperating with the police, being compliant, calling the police, it bodes in his favor. Here's what I tell attorneys all the time, right? You obviously hold your breath any single time your client opens their mouth and talks to anybody, but you're lucky when you get a client who did speak to the police and does something that's in line with the defense you intend on putting together. That's why his defense attorneys will hold this on their sleeves and say, look at what he did. This is not the behavior of somebody who did something nefarious. So far, it's going to bode very well for him right now as the trial's underway.
Now, what we do know, Mike, is that there is surveillance video of what happened. It's kind of grainy, can't 100% tell what's going on, but what you can tell from that video is that he did embellish a little bit. What he tells them is that he attacked him, the guy attacked him, and that he was swinging at him. It's not clear whether he attacked him or not. You can get into that a little bit, but what is clear is that there was no swinging going on. How much will that end up hurting him? Again, this is directly after the incident. He's saying these things. It may be going on his head, a lot going on. What do you make of that aspect of it?
I use Greek mythology to describe these cases all the time, and now I'll say that the gods of the jury are always offended if you feel that you are offending their intelligence or lying to them. It never is good. There have been so many cases where a defendant, we know later on, was exonerated because other evidence came out, but was convicted because they said something that was a fib, was a lie, was an embellishment. This is a material germane fact in this case, whether or not he was swinging at him, right? Because if you're a juror at the end of this case and you're deliberating and you say, this guy's making up a story. He said things that ended up not being true. How can we believe that he was defending himself? And at the end of the day, he shot the guy who was unarmed. So it's going to be very bad for them. This aspect of it will be very bad for the defense.
Yeah, and again, the idea is, why would he try to embellish if he thought he was completely in the right? Right? He's trying to make it seem worse than it is, so it certainly doesn't bode well for him as far as that fact is concerned. Michael, stand by. I want to take a break now, folks. Coming up, we'll have more of that cross-examination of the officer in the return mail murder trial right after this break. Keep it here on Court TV. Welcome back to our special coverage in the return mail murder trial in Montana. I'm Michael Ayala. It is day one of testimony inside that Gallatin County courthouse for accused killer Jordan Palmer. Now, according to police reports, Palmer said that he found a piece of mail on the ground and then went to put it in a mailbox of a neighbor. Now, another neighbor, Stephen Campbell, confronted him and accused him of breaking into cars. He said when Campbell started swinging at him, he shot him in self-defense. But prosecutors say surveillance footage doesn't show Campbell making any movements toward Palmer before being shot. Now, an officer who was one of the first on the scene is now testifying. He's facing cross-examination here. Let's get back into court.
Well, I want to talk to you about what happened once you got there. You approached Jordan Palmer, right?
Yes.
And when you approached Jordan, he dropped down to his knees, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
You had his hand up in the air.
Yes, he did.
And he told you he attacked me, right?
Yes.
And he told you that he shot the man to attack him, right?
Yes, he did.
So he was honest with you about shooting the man to attack him.
He did say that, yes.
He took responsibility for shooting Stephen Campbell.
I'm going to object to the characterization of that.
I'll overrule. Witness can answer if he can.
I mean, that's what he said to me, so I'm obviously not sure, so.
And afterwards, you asked Mr. Palmer to lay flat on the ground, right?
Yes, I did.
To stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Palmer do that.
Yes, he did.
He followed all of your instructions, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He told you yes, sir, no, sir.
Yes.
He treated you with respect.
Yeah.
He was compliant in every way.
Yes, he was.
He didn't fight with you.
No, he did not.
He wasn't disorderly.
No, he did not.
Now, you testified earlier today that you were not involved in collecting the evidence from the scene.
Yes, that's correct.
I just want to clarify, isn't it true you collected a flock magazine from the scene,
No, I did not.
but you were the ones who deposited in evidence?
Yes, basically I deposited in evidence for the other officers because we are a smaller department. So
Yeah. And are you familiar with that flock magazine from when you deposited in evidence, what it looks like?
it's a standard talk magazine.
As the person who deposited in evidence, do you take a picture of it?
Yes,
Officer, I can probably have to either get a little closer or speak a little louder
I apologize.
since the air conditioner went on.
Sorry. Yes,
I'm going to ask my co-counsel, Ms. Corneal, to pull up a picture of what's been marked as defense exhibit B, exhibit A. Okay.
Your Honor, just a couple of things, just procedurally.
Sure, Mr. Bowen.
That this was marked as Exhibit A. I think we already have an Exhibit A. The demonstrative exhibit was already marked as Exhibit A.
This would be exhibit A for the purpose of exhibits going back to the jury. If we're including the demonstrative, the numbering system, then it would be exhibit
I
B.
think, Rain, are you okay if we have two A's, one's demonstrative, one's not?
Yeah.
Keep track.
Yeah.
Let's make the demonstrative.
Your Honor, I'll relabel it.
All right, so then the which one are you going to relabel?
I'll label this Exhibit B.
This is Exhibit B. All right, so this is, are you offering it at this point or not yet, Ms. Brosowski?
I mean, I think should.
And Officer Aiken, do you recognize this as a photo that you took of the magazine cartridge?
no. I didn't take any pictures. I did not collect any evidence.
And but this was a cartridge that you deposited into evidence?
Yes, on the computer.
Do you know which officer would have taken this picture?
I do not.
Do you remember from looking at the magazine cartridge how many rounds had been used?
I do not.
Would it sound correct to you there are about 8 rounds remaining in that magazine cartridge?
Would appear to be, yes.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Bowen?
All right, let's pause it there for a quick break. When we return, the prosecutor takes over for redirect. More testimony coming next. Keep it here on Court TV.
Tonight, on closing arguments, our verdict watch continues as two parents stand accused of trying to kill their teenage daughter. We're live with the very latest from today's deliberations.
Closing arguments with Vinny Politan coming up next, only on Court TV.
Donna Adelson is facing charges of murder, the death of her former son-in-law.
Terrible. Now that Donna has turned into a defendant, what's next for the Adelson clan?
The matriarch mastermind murder trial. Live coverage this August on Court TV.
anticipate you'll hear on that call that Mr. Palmer claims that man verbally threatened him and was swinging at him. And in response, Mr. Palmer fired a gun at him 7 times. There's no reason to believe that these men never met or had any knowledge of each other. No prior history with each other. The only common thread was the roughly 1 block distance between their homes.
I was just confronted and attacked by a dude on the street. That was the first thing that Jordan Palmer said when he called 911 on April 19th, 2024. You are going to be asked to determine, did the police investigate and did the state prove that Mr. Palmer intended to cause the death of Stephen Campbell without acting in self-defense? And I expect that you will find that Jordan did act in self-defense. And ladies and gentlemen, I will ask that you return a verdict of not guilty.
All right, let's get you back into that Montana courtroom where the first officer to respond to the shooting scene is now on redirect. He's being asked about processing the evidence.
Officer Aiken, I kind of have 3 follow-up questions for you. We kind of talked a little bit about processing evidence just now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us, what does that mean for Belgrade PD?
So we're kind of a small department, so there was only 3 of us on shift that night. So obviously when other people were processing evidence at the scene or they brought it back, basically I just entered it into the computer for them so that it was all there, basically. So
I want to be really clear about what this process is, okay? So when you say you entered it into the computer, what does that mean?
So basically on our database, when you open up a case, you have a section that you can add basically your body cam video, and then you can add other articles of evidence. So, which can be numbers of things, clothes, firearm parts, obviously, things like that. So all you're doing is basically typing it into a computer that it's been entered into our actual evidence.
So by entering into evidence, you're basically doing data entry on a computer?
Yes, basically.
Are you handling the evidence?
No.
Who has? I mean, what was that process that night?
With the handling the evidence?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure who handled the evidence for it. So, like I said, we were there was a lot going on. So we were just trying to.
So when you entered the evidence, you entered the data into the computer that said this item is being entered in. Is that correct? Okay. So if your name was to appear on an evidence log associated with it, it would be because you entered that data?
Yes.
Does it mean that you handled that?
No.
And is that just a way or a function of the way that the software works?
Yes, it is.
So
basically,
would you enter a description?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you'd type in a description and it would populate with your name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're the one who enters it in, then your name will populate on there. So.
Did you handle any magazines that night?
No, I did not.
I want to go back to Ms. Brasovsky asked you some questions about the positioning of Mr. Campbell on the ground. Did you see how Mr. Campbell came to be in that position?
No, I did not.
Did you see anything before you arrived on scene?
No, I did not.
Do you know, did you see the defendant come into any contact with Mr. Palmer while you were on scene?
No, I did not.
Do you have any basis to assume or come to any conclusions about what Mr. Palmer was doing before you arrived on scene?
No.
Regarding checking for injuries, at the end of the body-worn camera, you indicated you were checking for injuries. You were looking at them. Is that correct?
Yes, I was.
And I want to be really clear. Like, what did you physically have to do in order to check for injuries?
Basically, had to lift up a camel shirt, and he was wearing a hoodie, so had to lift that up to see where he had been shot. And then at one point we did roll him onto his side, so we could look at his back to see if he had any exit wounds.
So you had to manually lift up the sweatshirt in order to do that?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. I don't have further questions right now.
Ms. Brasovsky?
I have no recross.
Well, thank you, Officer Aiken. You may step down, sir.